I think less is more right now. I think, did a lot of video, a lot of game planning, practice and stuff. I think today's just a day, less and more. Less is more for me. Let the guys get ready for the game, optional, and then get ready for the game.
How much emphasis have you put on maybe the first 10 minutes, knowing that your players are going to be battling some emotions, some excitement, anxiety?
No, we're usually a team that starts out well in this building. We're a good period team, so I don't think you change. I mean, I know the stage is high, brighter, and there's more anticipation, but I think, from my experience, you try to do something simple your first shift, whether it's a hit, a good shot on net, anything, and a short shift usually gets you in the game. So, that's what from experience, and hopefully some guys, that they understand that, we're not looking for a home run play to start. We're just looking to move the game along, and the way the Canucks play hockey, I think you have to look at it that way.
Rick, I don't know how much you're willing to reveal. You've been good in the regular season, but it's different obviously now. But
yes.
Will you play the way you practiced yesterday?
As of yesterday, pretty well. I mean, I check in after usually around noon before I kind of make the final decision. But that's pretty well it.
You think you still have decisions then to make?
Well, it's not a huge decision. I just like to check. Sometimes there will be a change, but I don't foresee it in case something's surprise the next 30 minutes. But I doubt that.
And ahead of pods, like you showed yesterday, barring a change.
Yeah.
JT struggled in the playoffs early in his career. You can tell how much this means to him. You've kind of done a good job of working with him and his emotions and just kind of letting him be him. Is there any message you need to have for a player like that that's just so wired and wants it so bad?
Yeah, for Millsy, simple plays his game, simple hockey. When he thinks of too many plays or he thinks too much, I think that's when he gets in trouble. Maybe last year, but this year I've seen less and less. I've seen as the year's gone less and this year. So I don't foresee it to be a problem. He knows the way he wants to play, how we want to play. He's the guy probably preaching more than anybody to our team to play more, simpler. So I think that's the key for him. He's the guy preaching it, so just do it tonight.
What do you see in terms of the strengths of Nashville's top line?
Yeah, well, I mean, O'Reilly's, Conn Smythe winner, heavy minute guy, top PK guy, top power play guy. So, they use him, he's one of the best face. Like, he's just an all-around guy. You got to make him work. Obviously, I think the second half, Forsberg's got to be one of the top players in the league with 28 goals in the last, you guys would know more than I, 30, 40 games. Like, he's almost scoring every other game, probably even better at that pace. Great shot. And Nyquist's obviously a hell of a signing. So, I mean, it's one of the best top lines in the league.
Good morning. Everybody talks about playoff officiating
Yeah.
and trying to figure out where that line's going to be tonight, Rick. Raymond and Kazari, are you familiar with them? Do you
Yeah.
understand the way of games? Are you comfortable with it?
Really good refs, communicative refs. I just talked to Brad. He talks to both teams, supervisor, and I remember the way he refed it. I think both. You can even ask Bruno when they're communicating. That's when the refs are at their best. So just as long as you're communicating, that's kind of the message for the series. Is it's not about complaining and stuff. Obviously, there's going to be some back and forth stuff, but I think for me, it's communication is the key with the refs and the players.
Joshua's only played one NHL playoff game, but he led you in hits.
Yeah.
What's that line like tonight for a guy who needs to be aggressive, needs to be heavy on the forecheck? What's the message to a guy like that to maybe play within some level of control?
Yeah, I know. I try to put experience when I play. Sometimes you get wired up. You want to hit everything in sight, and you're running out of position. So the game's changed. So you got to make sure the hit's there. You want to take it every time if you can, but you can't run out of position. There might be 10 minutes where Dakota might not get a hit because of just the way the game's being played. And there's going to be some, he might have 2-3 shifts, he might have four hits. Like, you just got to play the game. You can't run around. But if the hit's there, you got to take it. I mean, you have to take them. But he's done a really nice job the last year and a half, Dakota, of knowing when to hit and when not to.
One last one. Your PK is, I think, 14 last clean sheets, kills. Why are Bluger and Lindy so good together as your first pairing out there?
I think hockey IQ. Everybody looks at system with PK, but it's a lot of detail. Pressure points. When you put pressure, it's the other guys putting pressure on the other areas. I think that's what they're good at. Teddy's good at the he'll read off Lindy. If Lindy's going to go, he knows he's going. If there's a situation where Lindy gets beat, Teddy knows to take back ice, protect the middle, like he doesn't dive in. I think there's the hockey IQ of their PK for those two guys is outstanding.
So much playoff experience. How confident are you right now with if a player needs to go to somebody during the game that your coaching staff, from all the experience you have, is going to be able to have the right answer for these guys?
Well, it's just you look at footy and Gaunch today. It's like another day to them. They're nice and relaxed. There's some players that you can tell they're antsy, and just having two guys like that, joking around or just being, they're sometimes coaching because of the stage. You start telling players too much. You give them too much information, all of a sudden they start getting antsy. So I'm just looking at those two guys, and they're calm as, footy's like, I think he was yawning there. I told him to go take a nap. So I think it's important to have those type of guys, the ice water in their veins.
And with the way you guys have played the season and building throughout the year, how much were you also like building on your structure and system, but just building confidence for these guys who are experiencing this for the first time? How do you think you guys did a job throughout the season of building towards this and being confident in the group?
I think the last 2-3 weeks, I think the staff's done a really nice job of changing their temperament. We've been pounding the guys the last month, the last 6 weeks about playoff hockey's coming up and this and when we got in, and I think we've just flipped. Now we got to build these guys up. We are who we are. There's no more changes. Now you got to build guys up and put them in good situations, and hopefully guys execute. That's really what it comes down to.
Rick, thinking about how you practiced and will presumably play pending your 12
Yeah.
p.m. check, seems like it might be the fastest possible version of your forward group that you can put together. What's the value of speed in the dynamic of this series?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think when you play an offensive team that has a great offensive system, I think Burnett's a really good hockey mind. When you can win that puck battle or that transition, can we get that, export that puck out and into fast pace? That's really what it comes down to, so that's why I like the speed on every line. That's why I think Lafferty could be a key to us with his speed and drive play, and then Petey can come underneath and do his thing. Obviously Millsy's a play driver with his forecheck. Garland and Dakota are excellent forecheckers. I think every line has that kind of speed. I think it's important.
You've talked all season about pressure, and
Yeah.
following practice, the Predators talked a lot about no one expected them to be here,
Yeah.
and
We're in the same boat. Same thing. Nobody expects us here. Nobody expects us. So
but people favor you to win in this series. How do you manage the pressure now that it reaches this stage of the season?
internal. Like we expect to win. So it's all internal stuff. But yeah, no, I hear what they're playing. We can play the same game. Nobody expects the Pacific and all that stuff. So that's the way. It's internal pressure that we handle inside, and that's the way we have to play it.
Just one more from me.
Yeah.
I feel like we never ask coaches this, but I'm curious to know,
Yeah.
do you have anything you'd be interested in saying to the fan base, and particularly fans coming tonight, in terms of what to expect, what they can do to support you guys?
Well, it's easy for me because I walk that seawall a lot, and I can't believe the people are so respectful. But it's always, hey, coach, keep going. So you can tell that people are getting into it. From what I've heard in the past, this building in the playoffs is one of the best rocking. So the loud, I know Nashville's very loud, and I hear Vancouver's very loud. So for me, the message is, man, be loud. Encourage the guys. But even when things have not gone our way this year, I really respect the fan base. I don't know, and I'm not trying to suck up. I haven't felt a lot of, when things have gone our way this year, a lot of negativity from the fans. Now, I don't know about anything about actual in the arena. We could be down 3-0, and I don't see a groaning and an upset crowd. It's like, oh, okay, these guys will get back into it. I've respected that about this. I think the players too. They've felt that, where hey, hang in there. They hang in their attitude. So hopefully we get that too.
Hi, Rick.
Yeah.
In your view, is this a case of if we play the way we can, we'll be fine, or you think that there's another level to this team that you haven't seen yet?
I think we can play better, and I think that's going to come. I really believe that whether we win or lose, I don't know. I know we're going to play good tonight. I just have that feeling that, as coach, you have that gut feeling. If we, I always play in regular season, it's about 90% it's about us, 10% the other team. In the playoffs, you probably goes 85-15 because now you have to game plan and stuff like that. But it really comes down to us how we want to play the game. We want to dictate how we play the game. So yeah, I think there's better hockey in us. And you know what? And to win the playoffs, you better have it. Every player should have that in them. I can play better. There's a percentage of better hockey I can play. I think you have to have that attitude.
Also, we often hear that in the playoffs, the top two lines on each side it makes it a wash, and it comes down to the importance of the third line. I don't know if you believe in that, but if you do, how would you qualify the importance of Lindholm in these circumstances?
Yeah. Well, he's huge for us. He's huge for us putting him in the lineup. But listen, if you're going to go far in the playoffs, as much as I've won a couple, 3 cups, 2 as a coach, I remember the fourth lines. As much as I remember playing with Mario Lemieux, and all the, I remember Phil Bourque and these guys, or when I was coaching, Matt Cullen when I was coaching, or guys like that, Brian Russ, he was a fourth liner. You remember as much as Sidney Crosby. So the fourth and third, or wherever you shape up the lines, they got to be huge for you. And it might be just a block shot. It could be a goal. It could be anything. So, it's just not 2 lines are going to win you the game. Obviously, your best player's got to be the best. Don't get me wrong, but for me, when you win, you always think of the 23, 24-man roster.
Rick, both you and Brunette have been discussed as some of the best coaches in the league this season. Do you personally get excited at the prospect of a tactical matchup against another one of the top hockey minds?
Well, he's a smart guy, so I got to be on my toes. I mean, there's some stuff that he likes to do, and we got to counter punch. So I just really think, I really respect what he's done there. From the beginning of the season till now. I mean, they had 100 points. They're a good team. That's it. They have 99 points. Yeah. And he did a hell of a job in Florida too.
Against a team that creates so much offense on the rush, how important is the defensive responsibility of your forwards helping out your defense?
Big. They put you in situations where you have to make split second reads. You have to be, you got to be focused on these rushes. They do some tactical stuff. They have their weak side defense go down a lot, so you got to make sure you protect that back ice. If that's your job on certain plays, you got to be there for us, and you got to be able to hand them off to your defenseman. There's split second reads that you have to be sharp on, but we've done a good job without the puck this year. So it's nothing new to us. It's just a matter of the stakes are higher.
I think you have to all these.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.